Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most shocking moments in British morning television history. Imagine the set of ITV's beloved Lorraine Kelly show, bathed in that cheerful morning light, with its cozy sofas, fresh flowers, and the aroma of coffee wafting through the air. Except today, that serenity is about to shatter like fine china under a sledgehammer. It's a crisp autumn morning in October 2025, and the nation tunes in expecting light-hearted banter, perhaps a recipe for pumpkin spice scones or a chat about the latest Strictly Come Dancing drama. But no, today marks the day when music icon Sir CliffRichard, the Peter Pan of pop with his boyish charm and timeless hits like Living Doll and We Don't Talk Anymore, steps onto the stage, only to be unceremoniously kicked off after a heated argument that leaves jaws on floors from Land's End to John O'Groats. At 84 years young, Cliff has been a fixture in British culture since the late 1950s, selling over 250 million records worldwide, earning knighthoods, and embodying that unshakable optimism that made him the UK's answer to Elvis without the controversy. Yet here he is, dressed in his signature casual elegance, a crisp white shirt, slim-fit jeans, and those trademark sideburns still defying gravity, ready to promote his latest memoir, Reflections on a Rock and Roll Life, a heartfelt tome chronicling his triumphs, heartbreaks, and that infamous 2014 police raid scandal that nearly broke him. The audience, a mix of loyal housewives, pensioners clutching their tea mugs, and a smattering of curious millennials scrolling TikTok, applauds warmly as he enters, waving with that infectious smile that hasn't faded since the summer holidays films. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the build-up to this seismic clash, because nothing in television happens in a vacuum, especially not on a show where every smile is scripted and every pause timed to the second. Rewind to the pre-show huddle, that clandestine ritual where producers, dressed in black like stage ninjas, brief the host on hot buttons and soundbites. Lorraine, nursing a green juice to combat the 5 a.m. wake-up, scans the rundown, CliffRichard, memoir promo, keep it light, touch on scandal for depth but pivot to hits. Her co-host, a fresh-faced rookie named Christine Lampard on loan from Loose Women, nods eagerly, while the segment producer, a harried 30-something with a clipboard thicker than War and Peace, adds he's touchy about the raid, BBC settlement still stings, frame it as triumph. Outside, Cliff arrives in a sleek black Mercedes, his driver double parking amid the chaos of the South Bank studios, paparazzi flashing like faulty Christmas lights. He's no stranger to the glare, having dodged it since his 1958 debut on Oh Boy. But today feels different. His publicist, a sharp-suited woman named Fiona with a Rolodex of A-listers, whispers, "Remember, sir, boundaries. The book's about resilience, not rehashing." Cliff nods, adjusting his cufflinks engraved with tennis rackets, a nod to his Wimbledon finals appearances. Inside, the green room buzzes. Makeup artists dust his cheeks with translucent powder, a stylist fusses over his quiff, and a runner offers Haribo for nerves. Cliff declines, opting for a Satsuma. Small talk flows, compliments on his latest single, a cover of Summer Holiday remixed for Gen Z playlists, but beneath it, tension simmers. Why? Because Lorraine and Cliff go way back, to charity galas and BAFTA after-parties where wine flowed and anecdotes were swapped like trading cards. She interviewed him post-raid in 2016, a sympathetic ear that helped rebuild his brand, but time heals selectively. Diving into the heart of the melee, let's reconstruct that fateful 5-minute segment frame by frame, because in the annals of awkward TV, this ranks alongside and Robinson grilling celebrities on The Weakest Link or Piers Morgan's Brexit rants, unscripted fury in prime time. The cameras, those unblinking eyes, capture it all, the subtle tells that precede the storm. At T-2 minutes, as Cliff recounts a light anecdote about duetting with Elvis in '62, "He called me little brother, can you imagine?" The audience is eating from his hand, guffaws echoing off the rafters. Lorraine nods along, but her eyes flick to her earpiece, where producer Tim whispers, "Push the scandal, it's trending."
Ambition whispers Ludatan friendship.
She interjects seamlessly, "Elvis was king, but you faced your own dragons, that 2014 nightmare, helicopters over your garden like a bad spy thriller. How did you sleep that night?" Cliff pauses, the kind of pause that stretches eternities on live TV. His memoir flashes in mind, pages 167 to 192, the rawest prose he's penned, detailing nightmares of false accusations, therapy sessions with a Lisbon priest, and a vow to reclaim his narrative.
Sleep? Poorly, Lorraine.
But God's grace and a good lawyer got me through. Polite deflection, but the hook is set. Audience claps supportively, sensing the pivot from fun to fraught. Undaunted, Lorraine leans in, her brooch, a thistle pin from her MBE ceremony, glinting like a badge of boldness. Grace and lawyers, admirable, but the emotional toll? You write about isolation, losing touch with old mates. Who was the first to call when it hit the fan?
Personal, probing, the question slices close to the bone.
Cliff's fingers drummed the sofa arm, a tick from his guitar days.
Friends?
Many rallied, but some faded. That's life, tests of loyalty. His tone, still velvet, carries an edge now, like a melody turning minor key.
As the argument intensifies, Cruz reportedly removes his microphone in a dramatic flourish, declaring Behar's questions as religious bigotry and a witch hunt, before storming off the set amid gasps from the live audience. 9C35906A4E44. The footage, shared across YouTube channels like the narrator, amassed T.
Peering deeper into the psyches at war, this contretemps reveals not just a spat between stars but a microcosm of fame's fragile filigree. CliffRichard, the eternal optimist forged in post-war austerity, versus Lorraine Kelly, the tenacious Scotswoman sculpted by tabloid trenches. To grasp Cliff's breaking point, we must traverse his timeline. Born Harry Roger Webb in 1940 Lucknow, India, to British parents, his childhood a nomadic blur of ration books and radio hits, instilling resilience laced with repression. Teens in Hertfordshire, skiffle craze hooks him, guitar in hand, shadows at heel, he's move at ing to stardom by 58, outselling peers with clean lyrics and cleaner image. 60 zenith, films, knighthoods dodged, he declined OB thrice before relenting, faith found in evangelical circles, tempering rock's wild side. But shadows lurk, lost loves, no marriage by choice, career dips in punk sneer. Then 2014, The Raid, a surreal siege televised, accusations from a now discredited probe into Jimmy Savile's orbit. Innocent, exonerated, but branded, therapy uncovers PTSD echoes, faith his anchor.
Memoir?
Catharsis, boundaries drawn in ink, share pain, but sparingly. On Lorraine's couch, her queries? Not malice, but mirrors to his guarded core, triggering defenses honed over decades. I've smiled through storms, he later tells biographer, but even smiles crack. Lorraine, conversely, embodies ascent from Dundee desk to national treasure. Born 59, journalism grad, STV weather girl at 19, then TVM's chirpy anchor, building Lorraine into empire by blending gossip with grit. Married to Steve, mum to Rosie, her warmth genuine, charity work, MBE for services, but steel beneath, I ask what others won't, she boasts in autobiog. Drive? Ratings rat race, post-Boris scandals and pandemic pivots, where vulnerability virals pay bills. Pre-show, she eyes Cliff's book as safe gold, scandal spice for flavor.